Hi everyone. For this week's discussion, we are looking at security breaches. Now, an information security breach happens when there is unauthorized access to information that distorts the information's confidentiality, integrity, and availability. However, an information system security is the ways, processes, and methodologies put in place to protect, like I mentioned, the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of an information. For this week's discussion, I'm looking at Capital One. Capital One has contracted a third-party cloud computing company that helps them with their data storage. However, in March of 2019, an individual called Paige Thompson, a former software engineer, allegedly cracked the server of the third-party cloud computing company and had access to the data of some of the future and current customers of Capital One. It was realized that the hacker was able to go through a firewall that protected a web application that was disorganized in an unsecured way. Capital One was informed about this hack in July of 2019 when they received a message from GitHub when Paige decided to make noise about her access to Capital One's information. The attack affected over 100 million customers, which included Capital One itself, their potential customers, their secured credit card holders, and some small businesses that had business transactions with them. Most of these people were in the United States or were in other parts like Canada. The breach, like I mentioned, affected up to 106 million customers of Capital One. The hacker had access to about 140,000 social security numbers of Capital One credit card potential customers, okay? And then majority of the data was information provided by these individuals who were making new applications for credit cards. 8,000 bank account details of customers who already had secured credit cards were also retrieved. Some of the data that was retrieved included names, zip codes, phone numbers, email addresses, date of birth, and residential addresses. And some credit card information that was also stolen includes credit scores, credit limits, credit balances, and payment history. Now, this is how the company addressed it. Up to $150 million was used by Capital One to protect and solve the problem that the breach caused. They also created a breach website for their customers who were affected as a way to educate them and tell them what to do. They provided free credit monitoring for the customers who were affected, went ahead to get themselves into a federal law enforcement that would take legal actions in case anything like that is to happen to them. Again, they went ahead to upgrade their technology that in order to fix their configuration vulnerabilities that opened them to this risk. They also notified their customers to make sure they are all aware. Some of them had to change their passwords and all, and then they were able to teach their customers on how to manage and control their accounts in case they see any suspicious activities. In conclusion, I would say that with what Capital One suffered, we must know that every company must understand how their infrastructure works in order to easily detect anything like a breach. We should also include cloud custodian services that would alert companies from all directions on attacks, and then finally keep up to date on organizations' infrastructure so that immediately there is a change, the company can know it. Thank you.